What up to everybody in the podverse and everybody sleeping in the cloud? Welcome to the Blacklog, where we talk black about TV, film, music, and sometimes we just digress and have conversations. And in this episode, we have our very ever first guest. So 20 years from now, when we're talking about the Blacklog, and they say, you remember who the first guest was on? This man is this who we go, and I'm not going to introduce. I'm going to give him this.
We're going to give him the proper introduction.
I'm going to let y'all finish this, but I don't know if I missed the part where I was the first guest. Listen, I like a good first. I like being a good first. So I'll take it.
Hey, man.
I'm honored.
I'm like good neighbors. State Farm is there.
Well, I'm honored. You know, I have my own digital talk series with my husband that I started during the pandemic. And our first guest, Sheam McKinney, actor from The Neighborhood and Vice Principals.
Oh, okay.
Was our first guest and holds a very special place in our hearts. I mean, all of our guests have, their own place. But, your first guest does hold a special place, especially on a journey that you don't know how it's going to unfold and where it's going to take you. You always remember that one of the first time you did a thing on your show. So I'm honored, brothers, to be your first guest.
You believe this win. My name is Rod. My name is Ryan. And I'm going to let Ryan introduce our guest.
Hey, before we start, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And if you don't like the show, leave that 5-star rating, and we'll try to do better next time.
We will. We'll try to do better.
Shout out to E. Tiffany Custom Creations, found at etiffanycreations.com.
For all your apparel needs.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into this. And also, just letting you know, E. Tiffany Creations comes from the wife of a purple too. Purple
family.
But before we jump into who the guest is, let me start by saying that we have not only three 504 boys on here, all from New Orleans, 3 St. Augustine Purple Knights. 3 St. Augustine Purple Knights.
3 Purple Knights.
We got Class 85, Class of 92, Class of 96, and we got 3 Howard Bison on here as well.
You know.
So let me get into it. We got Blair Dottin-Haley. Blair Dottin-Haley is let me get my speech and debate voice back.
Listen,
Blair Dottin-Haley is a veteran.
One time for Mr. Leonard Augustine.
Oh yes, one time. Yeah, I try to pour a little bit out, but I'm pouring right in there. It's gonna be real hot.
A set of rules for you. Yes.
There you go. But seriously, Blair Dottin-Haley is a veteran. Got to give him his flowers. Veteran vocal performer, co-founder of the Dottin-Haley Group and the Blairisms lifestyle brand and social justice movement. After attending Howard University of Bison and graduating from Xavier University of New Orleans, which means he is an alumni with our mother and aunt of the Gold Rush.
Blair began Xavier Xavier's in the centennial year this year, so I decided I was going to rep Xavier for.
Oh, you got to, bro. You got to, yeah. Blair began a dynamic career that would take him into politics, working with the Texas and Louisiana legislature, then into education as a teacher and media and office support staff in Clayton County, Georgia. He later went on to do a nonprofit administration and served as the National Program Implementation Manager for a national nonprofit organization. While managing his national role, Blair began working in the entertainment industry as a tour manager and in branding, social media content development, and strategy. Way before we were even thinking about it. In 2016, Blair and his husband Brandon founded the Dottin-Haley Group to provide a range of personal and professional development services to individuals and organizations. As the CEO of the Dottin-Haley Group, Blair drives new partnerships and business development initiatives in addition to serving as an executive coach and strategic planner. Their partners and clients have included Xavier University, Delgado Community College, Apple, NOLA, that is New Orleans, Louisiana Public Schools, ADP, African American Policy Forum, CDW, the Trayvon Martin Foundation, the Tupac Shakur Foundation, Louisiana Children's Museum. As the grandson of civil rights activist Aretha Castle Haley, Blair is adamant about using the hashtag Blairisms brand as a vehicle for promoting progressive causes and raising awareness of social justice initiatives. Not finished. Coined brand activist by actor and activist Erica Alexander, affectionately known to us as Maxine Shaw from Living Single, about to say in Living Single. The hashtag Blairisms use apparel to speak truth to power. Apparel to speak truth to power, uplift marginalized communities, celebrate blackness and queerness, and shine a light on the beauty and range of a black culture. The hashtag Blairisms has been featured in the Huffington Post, Fashion Bomb Daily, Bustle, Afropunk, Shadow and Act, and The Root, which I will say, we just recently had a pod where we kind of had a little bone to pick with one of the writers who was hating on the Wiz, but that's in another episode. In 2020, pieces from the hashtag Blairisms Get in Good Trouble collection, which celebrates the late Congressman John Lewis, and its proceeds donated to the fair fight, were acquired by the National Museum of African American History and Culture, etching the brand permanently into Black history. So if you are out at the National Museum of African American History in D.C., you will see hashtag Blairisms. Blair and his husband Brandon are also the creators, producers, and hosts of the multi-award-winning digital talk series, the hashtag Savage Chat series, which celebrates the stories of the range of Black culture through the chats with icons of the culture. They have had over 400 guests, including Vanessa Williams, Erica Alexander, April Ryan, Amari Hardwick, Michael Harriet, Judge Faith Jenkins and Kenny Lattimore, Anthony Hamilton, Carl Thomas, Cheryl Lee Ralph, who you can see on Abbott Elementary, and Congressman Troy Carter, to name a few. Also, as an accomplished performer, Blair has produced and headlined an annual show in New Orleans called Lundi Gras Love, an evening with Blair Dottin-Haley since 2012, which it has included guests Kenny Lattimore, the Florist of Floetry, Mia X, and Frenchie Davis, also a Bison. In 2023, Blair made history as the first performer to ever be televised singing Lift Every Voice and Sing before American college football game at the 50th anniversary of the Bayou Classic in New Orleans. If you haven't been to the Bayou Classic, make sure you go. And he returned in 2024 accompanied by the Southern University Gospel Choir and made history again as the first repeat anthem performer in Bayou Classic history. That is who we have on our show today. Give it up for my man.
I didn't realize I gave you a 5-minute bio.
And wait, hold on. Don't forget, we are talking about a different world. Not included is that he has interviewed the cast of A Different World, not just once.
We were fortunate. I was fortunate, speaking of the Savage Chat series, to have Charnel Brown both as a guest on our show individually, but also to bring her and Darryl Bell to Xavier for Homecoming, and had a conversation with them at Homecoming a couple years back. I was also fortunate to be at the Wilmington Public Library sponsored reunion of the cast of A Different World back in 2022.
Okay.
In the fall of 2022, I think y'all might remember it went viral. They all got together, and it went viral that they had reunited. I was at that reunion, and a month or so later, Charnel and Daryl came to Xavier for homecoming to visit.
Okay.
So yeah. So, well, thank you for that, and thank you for having me. And
Man.
all I can say is, listening to that, I'm so grateful for the path that God has laid out in front of me. It's a life that I don't think I ever imagined. Even here's one of the other things I'll say, and I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine earlier this afternoon. And I think it's tied to why we're having this conversation about a different world and its impact on culture and society, because really what a different world represents is the idea of opportunity and imagination. And I certainly did not imagine when I was walking through the halls of Howard or Drew Hall. I was the first ever Mr. Drew Hall. I should put that in my bio.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I was.
I didn't even know they had Drew. Well, obviously, I didn't know they had one.
They did. I was the first ever Mr. Drew Hall in 1997. And so I never imagined the life that was ahead of me. And so much of what you just read happened in the last decade of my life. So many of those paragraphs are relative to just the last decade of my life. And that's what I often tell young people. I thought when I was at Howard and when I was at Xavier that by 35, 40, my life was going to be settled and set, and it was going to be what it was going to be. Mm-hmm. But your life can transform even after you think it's done, or after you think you should have it all figured out. It can change tremendously in real time.
Oh yeah.
It ain't over until you take that last breath. Ain't over.
That's it.
Yeah, I used to say never, bro. I stopped that long time ago.
Never. Yeah.
Never say never.
All right, so
man, we want to jump into this. We know that you have places to be, people to see.
I got a little bit more time. I'm not going. We going. Yeah. Let's talk.
But
I really didn't realize that bio was gonna be that long. I would have.
It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. It's all good, bro. Hey, bro, you deserve those flowers, bro. If you did it, people need to know, man. People need to know.
I appreciate. Yes. Okay.
But we're focusing on a different world, and all of us being HBCU grads, you actually having the benefit of going to two HBCUs. One at home and one in DC.
Yeah.
What was the different? Let's start off with just a different world, focusing on a different world. Was a different world one of the reasons that got you interested in either Howard or HBCUs in general?
Yes, and I was at St. Aug. As is customary, alums come back to the school while they're in college to see old teachers, talk to classes, that kind of thing, share their experiences. And so while A Different World had already been a part of my, Thursday night watch kind of situation, and I also had the benefit of older family members who had attended HBCUs, right? My grandmother, Aretha Castle Haley, is an alum of Southern University in New Orleans. My uncles, who are both my uncles, attended Xavier University and Howard Law School.
Oh, okay.
And so I had the benefit of people around. My grandfather, Richard Haley, was in the 60s a professor at FAMU, and assistant band director at FAMU. And so I've had the benefit of a lineage of folks who matriculated through some of the best HBCU institutions, and the influence of television and Different World, and as I was about to start with, having alums who were at Howard at the time come back to my class and say, y'all, this is where y'all need to be. Like, this is I'll never forget. Rory came to visit Brennan, Rab. You remember Brennan?
Yeah.
And Drew,
yeah.
And Drew.
Yeah.
And Drew. And Drew and I went to every school together until I went to Xavier. Drew and I have known each other since we were 4 years old. And we went to Audubon Montessori together, we went to St. Aug together, and then we went to Howard together.
Raj, you may not know Drew, but Drew went to Howard too. He went to St. Aug. He ran track.
Yeah.
Drew ran
Really?
track. Didn't you run track?
Huh.
Yeah, he did. Drew was.
No, you didn't run track though?
Oh, no, me?
Yeah, you didn't run
no.
track?
Payne,
Okay.
I always tease Coach Payne because he wanted me to run track, but he also, if I would have ran track, I would have had to give up everything else I was doing. And I was like, yeah, that's not that proposition. That's just not gonna happen. I'm not giving up.
You come run track with me, man.
Man, run, man. I said, Coach, if I come run track for you, I got to give up being voice of the Marching 100, captain of the speech and debate team, the choir. I'm not giving up my other stuff to do that. And so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it did have it was a part of a number of influences that made the choice to be for me to go to an HBCU almost like a no-brainer. My elementary school was a white dominated but also a magnet kind of school. I went to Audubon Montessori for elementary school, right? And then to St. Aug, which is, all black Catholic, right? And a very different kind of environment than a Montessori kind of school, right?
Yes,
But
Say the least.
say the least, huh?
wait, and I found out I was going to St. Aug 4 days before I started.
What?
Yeah.
How'd you find out?
Yeah,
How'd that work out? Ooh.
because when your family owns a preschool and the development and alumni director at St. Aug's children go to your family's preschool and your father gives him your California Achievement Test scores, and he takes them to the principal, and the principal says, "Oh, where is he at? If he comes, if he wants to come, if they want him to come to St. Aug, we'll give him a full ride if he says yes. All you gotta do is say yes." So I got picked up from school on a Thursday, and was told when I got picked up from school the second to last week of my 7th grade year at Audubon. I'd been at Audubon since kindergarten. The second to last week of my 7th grade year, I got picked up from school that Thursday, and my dad got out to go talk to my teachers, told me to wait in the van, got back in, and was like, "So today was your last day. You start St. Aug on Monday. You start St. Aug."
So you was basically getting ready to get back to Audubon for 8th grade. And it was like, nah.
A couple things. Because I'm a singer, I was getting ready for my first talent show that next week at Audubon that I had auditioned for. I had auditioned for the talent show. I was about to do my very first talent show as a singer at Audubon that next week. And my daddy was like, "Yeah, you start St. Aug summer school Monday." And you'll remember this, Ryan, if you were in 01, I know you were in
99, all three of us.
You have to go to summer school for those first 2 to 3 years to prepare for the PSAT.
I hated doing it. I hated going to that summer school program.
I hated doing it. I was always good at standardized tests, so I didn't think I needed it.
Yeah.
But it paid off. I did really well on my PSAT. Mr. Minor, I'll never forget this. Did y'all have Mr. Minor?
Oh yeah, that's my
I
picture.
name. I didn't have him.
That's one of my pictures on my profile.
Man, so Mr. Minor was my dad's vice principal at Clark.
Huh?
So I came into when Mr. Minor came to St. Aug, he knew we had I didn't know him already, but once he knew I was that connection, and he knew my grandmother. So Mr. Minor, the day the scores came in from our PSATs, Mr. Minor said, you really must have studied hard for the PSAT. I said, yeah, not really. I mean, I'd been doing the summer school thing for the last. He said, well, you got the highest score in the junior class. So,
Wow.
so that set off this national merit, national achievement thing, right? That also set off this college hoopla. And here's the other thing. Because of, and you mentioned this at the beginning, because of our graduation years, right? Because I graduated high school in 96, which put me theoretically in the class of 2000 for college.
Yeah, right.
It made, because it was the millennium, it was this whole other thing. You would, I mean, people who didn't graduate high school in 96 don't know. People who graduated in high school in 96, it was a whole thing about the fact that we were graduating and we were the class of 2000.
Oh.
That was a whole, you wouldn't know.
Nah, I sure
You
wouldn't.
had to have been graduating in 96 to know that it was such a big thing. And for a college like Howard, they wanted this class of 2000 to, what's interesting is there was this hoopla for all of the class of 2000 coming in. People who graduated say in 2000 when they graduated, it was kind of like, here's another graduating class. It wasn't even like a big deal. But when we got there in 96, bruh, they might as well have got us happy endings. They rolled out the red carpet, bruh. They rolled out the carpet for the class of 2000, bruh. Oh, this is how I ended up with my own talk show, bro. This is how I ended up with my own talk show, bro. This mouth it's a little special.
Yeah.
They rolled out the red carpet for the class of 2000, and that also. So there were two things that happened. I find out that I'm in this national achievement scholarship competition, like program competition. Which sets off, like, my name is now on this list, which has stuff coming from colleges wanting to come fly me and my other Purple Knight brothers who were flying us out to different schools we knew we weren't going to, but sure, we'll take a trip to, whatever, right? But it also gave us really our choice of where we wanted to go. We really had, it was kind of like a golden ticket in our junior year. Our senior year teachers weren't necessarily happy about it. I know Mr. Charles wasn't happy with me, but
Mr. Charles went to Howard too.
Yeah. It was this thing of like in our junior year, some schools, Howard being one of them, were willing to give us a full ride and at guaranteed admission if we were willing to say that we were going to Howard. I got that offer in the fall of my junior year. Can you imagine my senioritis starting in October of my junior year?
Bruh. Let me tell you something. Howard came to visit St. Aug our senior year. This was my happiness about Howard. Hey, what's the lowest ACT score y'all accept? He said 17. I turned around to my boy. I'm in there.
Yo. See, Ryan. See, bro. Yo, Ryan.
I'm in there.
Bro, that's hilarious.
Filled out the application early admission in October.
Yo, that's funny.
Son!
And look,
what's the least I gotta do?
I took my ACT my junior year too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm going to take it early, see what I do. I got a 25. Took it again and got a 24. And was like, yeah, I'm not taking it no more. It don't even make sense. Why what am I mean, the 25 is more than sufficient for with everything else.
Oh,
why
yes,
I keep taking it to try to get like a third? Because, when you're that age, especially in the homeroom we all were in, it became, there was this competition thing that was happening with folks' test scores and all of that kind of stuff, right? The nerds.
Yeah, no con-
The
it's-
nerds
it's
and all
fun-
that
it's
shit,
fun-
we were.
It's
We
funny
were.
that you mentioned that because
We certainly were.
I won't say his name on air, but you asked about him earlier.
Yep.
You asked about him earlier. He was taking tests for people that senior year.
Absolutely.
and did
100%, I know.
And did too well of a job for one of them. So well that they said, yeah.
Somebody
you-
did.
yeah,
I remember that. So
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Oh, because a couple things, since we're not naming names.
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
things. They were like a huge mentor to me my 8th grade year. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Really?
hung out. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
What'd he say?
He didn't know I had
What you
a
need?
huge crush on him.
Yeah,
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. But he was like, he kind of like took me under his, we was cool. Like, it was a cool dude.
Yeah,
So
bro.
yeah, but I remember I absolutely remember that happened because he used to work out in the, after school, in the gym. And the day it happened, or like it all came out, he was like, bro, I might be in some shit. Like,
Bruh.
I think I didn't.
Right?
think I missed some shit.
They told this dude, hey, either you need to prove that you
Yep.
got this score,
Yep.
or you need to take it again.
Yep.
And you're
Yep.
gonna be in
They make-
one room
yeah.
with
Yep.
about 7 people looking at you take the test.
Watching you take the test. Yeah.
And he tried
It
to
was
get
that.
all. Apparently, from what I know,
Yeah.
he apparently got all these books and tried to prove it. They were like, nah,
Nah.
nah,
No.
you ain't jump from a 16 to a 30, that type.
Right. So yeah, that I would say A Different World was a part of a lot of factors
Okay.
that contributed to me, because my dad honestly wanted me to go to an Ivy League school because they were calling. He's like, man, you sure you don't want to go to Yale? You don't go to Harvard? You don't go to Duke? You don't go to Brown? You could go to and I'm like, no, I got to go to Howard. I want to go to Howard. And
You put me in
what
St.
I
Aug,
did
man.
was I put. Listen, he dropped me in the St. Aug without my
You
consent.
dropped me and saying, "Oh,
Without no question, not even asking.
Yeah.
So what I did was, though, and this is how I convinced him, I planned a tour of Howard the day after the Million Man March. So
Wow.
Million Man March is my senior year. I'm student body president. So what I do is I organize an event, a program at St. Aug for the day of the Million Man March, even though I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
okay."
So I organized the event. It went. It met mixed reviews, as you can imagine. It met mixed feedback. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about 1995 and having Minister Farrakhan on the TV at St. Aug. It was a lot,
bruh.
as you can imagine. It was a
Oh,
lot.
bruh.
I heard the day up. So when I got back to school,
I
that
can't
next
even
week,
imagine.
as you can imagine, it was like a whole lot because it had happened. Right. I planned.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be the anticipation of something like that. It's a different thing after it didn't actually happened. And people have experienced it, and there have been contention and that kind of thing. So I get back to school, but that's
Mr. Linford.
I don't want to talk about it. He don't deserve any airtime.
I got you.
The Klan deserves no airtime here. Don't give the Klan no air. Let me give y'all some advice. Don't give the Klan no airtime on y'all show. Don't give the Klan no airtime. So, I planned for us to go to Howard the day after the march, and 20 minutes after we on campus, and my dad is like, "Okay, I get it. I get it. It makes it just being on the campus." Just see, it makes sense why you're so adamant about bruh, this is where I need to be in a space like this.
Yeah,
If you met me,
Yeah.
I mean, I can function. I can function in those spaces, but why? Why would I want to?
No reason to.
There's no reason to. Why subject myself? Why subject myself and them to that?
Got all my life to be around that.
I ain't gonna need that. So
Yeah.
So that was the Okay.
So what's the, and you can plead the fifth on this because we kind of talked about this. What's the biggest difference between Howard and Xavier?
I mean, this is how I answer this question. I'm not gonna plead the fifth. I thought about this.
Yeah.
They're different schools. They're in different places. They have different. They're known for different things. They were born in different times.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, Howard was born in the 1860s. Xavier was born in the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a different time. For different reasons, by different people. Xavier is you know what the biggest difference is? This is the biggest difference. The biggest. If we want to say the biggest is that Xavier is the only Catholic HBCU. That makes Xavier different from everybody.
That is correct.
That is a distinction with a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's a distinction with a huge difference. And I mean, I think we, as a part of the Josephite family, understand what it means to have a archdiocese kind of authority when there's lots of lay leadership.
Yeah.
It's very, and it's easy to overlook that. Like when you brought it up, I had to be reminded. Like, yeah, it is a Catholic university.
Yeah, that's it. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference.
So this next question is kind of swinging over to the actual show, Different World. So we did season 1, Ryder and I. We've already done season 1, and if you go back, you can see it on the Blacklog, the podcast. And you'll probably see that we weren't the biggest fans of season 1.
I mean, you know.
And the funny part is, it took me until my wife actually brought it up. It took me until that time to really say, you know what, season 1 was not that great. So, did you like season 1 with Lisa Bonet?
So here's the thing about season 1. As with all, I would say, not all, but most new shows and spinoffs, it takes a second to get the right chemistry and flow of characters, people, because typically spinoffs are picking up on some part of one show and then building a whole nother set of characters around whatever the extension of that character or whatever they're spinning off, right? And so I think season 1, with the characters that they were trying to put together, and they didn't make Lisa Bonet's, I mean, they didn't make Denise a very likable character. I mean, she was a spoiled kind of a little annoying.
She became a different character.
Yeah,
she was a little different than what she was.
Yeah, and so
on the Cosby Show.
The first season, meh. You know, I kind of share the same sentiments about the first season.
Yeah, there were many times that we spoke about, you know, when we would be discussing shows from season 1, and go off on the fact that, man, remember when Denise was smart?
Yeah, like she was this smart kid.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know of people who have gone to college and just can't handle it.
Right.
But it's like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a crash and burn that kind of was like.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of what we saw on screen, I wonder how much art was imitating life, and vice versa, and how much what we now know about what was happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the Cosby Show.
I think it was all the producer. There's a woman named Ann Beats who had been at like Saturday Night Live, and not saying that she wasn't good at what she did, but at this project, she wasn't the one for this project. She wasn't at all.
She wasn't the person to be doing it.
She was sticking that square in that circle in that square hole, and it's like, this is not. You putting your image or what you thought your college was like. What?
Right, and that's not
episodes about eggs and stuff like that, carrying eggs around. It was
Right.
just, yeah.
Yeah, because that didn't
became
happen
weird.
at that wasn't an HBC.
No, it did not. It never did.
No.
but,
No,
but
that's not a thing.
But it showed you. That's another thing. Even then, when I came out here,
Yeah.
when I started working in television, you learn what it takes to get a TV show on the air,
Yeah.
and it's like having a bow and arrow trying to pin a noodle, a piece of spaghetti coming.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It takes a lot, and it shows you how much power Bill Cosby had at that time and how powerful the
So
Cosby Show was, because he had a show on about an HBCU
Yep.
on on NBC.
Yeah, in the
I don't think-
80s.
In the second slot. In the second slot.
Yeah.
In
Nonetheless.
the
Yeah.
yes,
On
you're not
prime- in
supposed to
prime
lose.
time. Yeah.
You're behind Cosby and in front of Cheers. You're not supposed to lose at this point in time.
Yeah.
And
One of
they
the
gave it to
interesting
him.
things, I'll say this and I'll let you go to the next question. What is interesting, I can't help but think of, as you're talking about having someone without the context for what HBCU life is like, with so much control over what the show looks like. There are in real time now so many folks who are in leadership at HBCUs around the country that don't have HBCU experience, have complete PWI experience.
None, yeah.
And it's reflecting in some of how they manage, operate, navigate, think about legacy, think about what's appropriate, think about history, all of those things. Yep.
See some of those things happening at Howard.
Yep.
The way they do in Homecoming.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That whole corporate homecoming it's
Yeah, they
different.
can- yeah.
So, but
Okay.
yes.
Well, I'm gonna add a superlative to this. Instead of saying what was realistic, what was the most realistic thing to you about A Different
Pull
World?
something out for me. The relationships between the characters. Like meaning, college is really about going to meet some of the people that you're going to be with and stuck with for the rest of your life. And you don't know that when you sit down next to them at the punch out at Howard or at the. Can I tell y'all how when I went to the punch out for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I'm on a different world.
Bro, do you know how many years it took me to go to the punch out?
Oh my
I'm on a
God.
different world. This is so dope.
Oh,
Where's Mr. Gaines? Yo. I mean,
I'm right here.
right. It was
Stop.
so surreal.
Don't do
I'm
that.
like, yo, this is just like TV. This is just like it. This is like it.
wow.
It's funny too. It took me so many years to step into the punch out because I was always going to the calf. I was
you
always
wildin'.
going to the calf.
What? Man, I stayed.
Hey,
Man, them wings
I
in the
had
punch
to
out.
use, I had money. My parents, hey, Rod knows. Our folks told us, hey, you want to get something to eat, better go to that damn calf. So,
I'm sitting on
Well,
it.
see, here's as I was talking about earlier, the whole scholarship thing. I was able to leverage with my parents the fact that I had gotten a full ride. I'm like, come on, y'all got to break me off. I mean, come on.
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
Y'all should be breaking.
Oh,
Y'all
that's
gonna
the
break me
truth.
off because I'm,
Man,
I done took care of all of this. So
My
anyway,
youngest got a full ride to college. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, yeah, what you need some money?
Yeah.
Here you go. Ain't got to
So,
pay
yeah.
that big bill. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get it too.
So when I
Exactly.
called and was like, hey, there's this sweater at Armani Exchange that I want.
wow,
They're like, all right,
Wow.
I'll make a deposit. I never forget calling them from the mall one time, being like, yo, so there's this sweater. I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
They're like, how much is the sweater, Blair? I'm like, it's just $88.
You know what? That's
We'll put
reasonable.
it in the
I
account.
think it's kind of
$88 compared to $3,000
wasn't-
for a semester.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
I
They
think it's a
should have
pretty
told
good
my ass,
payoff.
get out the mall and go study, though. Is what they should have been telling me. They should have been like, hey, get out the mall and go to the library.
See, keep
Wait,
that damn
Armani
scholarship.
Exchange and go to the library.
What mall were you in? We had Lord and Taylor. Were you at Crystal City? Where were you?
I was at I want to say this particular time I was in Montgomery Mall.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You was
All
out there.
right.
At the Extremani Exchange in Montgomery Mall. It was like a rare trip to this. That I'm 18, so I'm going into a mall I ain't never been before. Of course, I got to buy something, right?
Yeah.
It's a mall I ain't
did.
never been to in DC. Of course, I got to get something.
You think it's something brand new?
I can't go back to. I can't leave out the mall going, and I ain't got no bag. What am I doing? What we doing? So yeah,
I'm always
the
amazed when
mind
you
of an
say just
18-year-old.
you said about the pit, about the punch out. Like I'm in a different world. Like I remember meeting a guy out here who had gone to Howard, another HBCU, and he said, "Yeah, man, I went to no, he went to Morehouse." Said, "Oh yeah, I went to Morehouse because of different world in school days." And I was like, and I realized how much I took for granted where we lived at. You got to understand, we live in a city with 3 HBCUs.
That's true.
That's right.
For me,
Ride by one every day on the bus.
That's
I
right.
ride by one every day.
That's
I was
right.
like, oh, let's go over to Dillard, like that type of thing.
Everywhere.
I literally, we literally lived in Pontchartrain Park, and I would be over at Suno like it wasn't nothing.
Like it wasn't
So
nothing.
when I heard people talking about, I literally from Los
And
Angeles,
then add
saying,
the
I
layer
can't-
of Southern and Grambling to that. The Bayou, add the
Exactly.
layer of the Bayou Classic and its relationship to New Orleans to that.
And
That's
you
wild.
hear, and then when you hear somebody from Los Angeles telling me, say, "Yeah, I went to Morehouse because different world." I was like, "Damn!" Like, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. Continue.
And So minus season 1.
Yep.
Minus season 1. What was unrealistic? What was the most unrealistic thing to you about a different world with HBCUs?
I don't know if I can think of anything that I felt like was unrealistic. I mean, I think, well, would I say this? I mean, there are a number of things, obviously, I think that would have gotten students who are not actors reprimanded much more than they did.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, there was, it's a sitcom, so there's a lot of getting out of trouble that would not happen the same way.
Yeah.
If you were at an HBCU, they'd be like, bruh, you gotta get your life together and come holler at us when you do. So that's what I would say. I mean, there's that sitcom element of the resolution of things that sometimes would end differently, obviously, if it was actual real life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you always wanted added to a different world but you never got?
I don't think I feel like it missed anything. I think, really exhausted the college experience in terms of like covering the things. I mean, I don't know if I can recall right now anything heavily focused on like homophobia or queerness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
And I think the fact that none of us can go right to an episode might be, I'm honestly thinking about this in real time, even though I saw the questions before this, but I'm honestly thinking about it right now. And I think that might be the thing that made it both not realistic or as realistic as real life, and could have been addressed in some way.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that there was a thing about, especially not black male homophobia that was addressed.
I don't recall anything.
Yeah.
If anything, they probably did like a little side joke or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, but
you
it
know what I
wasn't
mean?
nothing. Right.
But
Right.
nothing big. Nothing
Exactly.
big.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Are there any stories, obviously, that you're willing to share that compares to a different world? That anything that happened?
Ooh. Anything that happened that compares? Oh, well, I don't know if this is the same thing, but I thought about I was thinking about the episode, where
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
students are up in arms about the Kim Reese episode, the Mammy episode.
Oh,
And the
the
protest,
Mammy.
like the kind of protest that took place.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a part of the '97 Howard protest.
Okay.
Where the administration building was taken over. Slept
Wow.
outside and all of those things. So that would be the thing I would say that the experience that I had at Howard that I would say is most like something that I saw.
Okay. Finally, excuse me, is there a favorite episode that you remember regardless
100%.
of the season? I think I know
1000%.
which one you're gonna say.
I would love to hear which one you think it is first.
I think it's the one with Gladys Knight.
It is
not Gladys Knight. The one with the In Vogue.
It is the one with In Vogue.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Faith, Hope, Charity, and Henrietta. Absolutely. When they played,
remember they were dressed up. It was like nerdy.
They played Mr. Gaines's nieces. Visiting.
Just later on. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. They own the club, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They open
Ron's Club
where the blues will be played.
Yeah, the blues.
Yes.
Where the blues
The
will
name
be
of the
played.
club, the blues.
Where the blues will be played.
Yeah.
Because it was Ron and Mr. Gaines Club.
Yes.
Yeah. Quickly should have loaned that name to Different World for that one.
I want to show y'all some pictures before I go, if y'all don't mind.
Nah, it's all good,
Like
bro.
I was mentioning, I got to be a part of the reunion that they did. This is me. This is a picture I took behind them. They're all on stage.
I feel like I've seen that one too.
Well, we on social media together, bro. You done seen that?
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite ones. So that's me standing. You see, I got this big Kool-Aid smile on my face. Behind the stage, standing behind them. And then, I don't even know how to describe what it was like. I'm going to show some of this. So we went to dinner right after, and they played in a Different World trivia game at the table at dinner.
Oh, for real?
To see how well they knew the show.
And how'd that go for them?
Oh, it was very funny. Kadeem knows everything.
Oh, for real? Okay.
I'm gonna send y'all. This is about 8 minutes of us sitting at the table with them playing a Different World trivia, going around the table where everybody played.
That must be good. That must have been.
Oh, it
fun.
was. I mean, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to record. I'm gonna have to share this moment. Y'all, some people got to see this.
That's surreal,
That's
right?
all good.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but the In Vogue episode, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, they did Free Your Mind. They did this whole makeover thing. Saying Free Your Mind. It's always gonna be my favorite episode.
I figured
They
as
played
much.
Church Girls, right? They were playing like Church Girls, right?
Yeah. Faith, Hope, Charity, and Henrietta.
There it is.
Faith and Henrietta. That's
Faith, Hope, Charity, and Henrietta. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
Oh my God. I do remember that episode. Yes. 6 episodes. I mean, season 6. So yeah.
It was later.
Well, bro, this has been a good one. This
Yes,
ain't
it
the
has,
end of the
man.
show, but it has been a good
show.
Good chat, bro. Good chat.
No,
bro.
I appreciate y'all
Thank
having
you.
me. I want to reserve the right to be invited back. I know
for
I'm
sure.
first, and I want y'all go ahead and go forth and interview the folks and do the things.
God.
And
Yes.
we got to see. We got to get one of the cast on here.
Oh, bro.
That would be
Hey.
great.
Why don't I have one of the cast on here?
That is all good. You
me
know
make a
we
call.
accept it.
Let me make a call.
Oh,
See what I
bro,
can do.
please.
See how many. I
thank
might
you.
be able to get y'all a few minutes with a cast member. Let me see what I
That
can.
would be great.
Bro, that'd be all
great.
good, bro.
Let's see.
This is our first. I mean, this is
Y'all my
our first.
fam. Y'all a fam.
Make sure
Ryan-
make sure you shoot
Ryan-
the show to them. Make sure they like it.
Ryan is one of my. I consider you one of my Purple Night Big Brothers. So you
Oh
know.
man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So
And
thank y'all
I
for having me.
his big
I
brother.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad. You walked right into that, bro.
That's some bullshit. That's
You
some
walked
bullshit.
right into that, Rod. I'm sorry.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
No, Purple. I appreciate y'all both. I was with the family last night, the Purple Night family at the band concert.
Gotta tell you, we saw that, bruh. You blew that away, bruh.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Yes.
For somebody who was sitting up last night, a bit inebriated, and I was like, what's this right there? And I was sitting up there. I said, oh, that's The Power of Love by Luther.
Hey, man, I was, well, you know, were either of y'all in the band?
Nah.
I was not.
Nah, I know you weren't in the band.
No.
I was
Yeah.
This is what I say, and I'm going to go. They have this thing about raising the keys of songs, even when they have a singer singing it.
Yeah.
And, that Power of Love was something else to get through. We made it.
Yeah, y'all made
That's
it,
all
all
right.
right. You made it. You made it your own.
Bro. Yes. Man,
Bro,
thank
we
you.
appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
bro.
And
Anytime,
you
I
definitely
can't
be
wait
coming
to-
back on, bro.
I cannot wait to see the evolution of this show, and because y'all
Yeah.
got something. I was actually telling a friend of mine about the show,
Okay.
and she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad y'all told me about that because it's all dedicated to a different world. I have to tune in."
Yeah, I will say, right now, and we're doing
Right.
season 2, but
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
I
we've
know.
done
No, I know.
Prince 1999, School Days, we've done them all. So
Yeah.
this is dedicated to blackness.
Just
Right.
blackness.
Well, you know,
Blackness.
she
But
black.
right now, this is educated blackness.
Educated blackness,
Yeah.
black
Yes.
excellence.
Yeah, black.
All right,
there you
fellas.
go. All right, then, bro.
Thank you,
Thanks for
sir.
the time.
Appreciate it, bro.
Y'all have a great rest of
Appreciate
y'all
you.
show
All
and
right.
season. Appreciate y'all
All right,
too.
Purple.
Y'all be well. Peace.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace. So, we are. Wow.
There it was.
That was
That
good.
was cool, bro. That was cool, bro.
That
like
was
that, man.
Blair
Blair
Dottin-Haley.
Dottin-Haley.
Haley, I'm sorry. Our first ever guest. And as we do here at the Black Law, we do talk about TV shows, and we're talking about different worlds.
Yep.
And we're getting into episode 11, titled, It Happened One Night. I did that very dramatically. I felt it was needed. It happened one night.